Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
Hello, everybody. I am Captain Michael.
I'm John.
And I'm Andrew. And welcome.
Threw everybody off.
It did. It threw everybody off. Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast, everybody. This week, again, I know it's only been a week since we did this, but it's like we're still throwing me off for this. You're listening to the Toy Rewind Podcast, just a little place where the three of us like to get together and talk about toys from our childhood and figure out how those toys ended up in all of our houses. This week, I don't think that's the case, but we are rewinding back to 1987, and we're going to talk about a Mattel release of Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. I know Michael kept thinking Soldiers of Misfortune. Is that what you said a while ago, Michael?
Soldiers of Fortune. I don't know where I'm getting that from, but that's what keeps popping in my head. But it's for Soldiers of the Future.
Soldiers of the Future. This one's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're actually going to talk about some show with this one, which will be a little bit different. I mean, except for last week when we talked a whole lot about some hockey, but we'll see how it goes. Before we get into that, John, do you actually have your notes this week?
Do I need notes?
I don't know. Do you need them? I don't know.
No, but I do have them up. All right. So socials and where to find us. Check our websites over at toyrewindpodcast.com or check us out on crossthestreamsmedia.com. If you're on Cross the Streams Media and want to, you can leave us a voicemail. Email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram and X, or previously Twitter, is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube, you can find us as Toy Rewind Podcast. I know there for a little bit that if you don't put the podcast, you won't find us. You'll find somebody else. That won't be any fun. I think that's about it now.
Yeah, I think it's nice and short. We've cut a few things out, cleaned a few things up, and still not posting on any of those social medias, but trying to remember. So,
I mean, you can get in and join the conversations with Rainey and stuff when she posts on her Facebook.
Oh yeah,
she does a great job.
I've been trying to watch that and seen a lot of toy lines come up, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And I appreciate her doing that.
The Facebook is definitely the place to be if you want to join in on the conversation.
And then if you want to watch the video, not just listen to us, you got to go to YouTube and
check that on YouTube. Yep. I do want to add this in. So we talked last week, it might have been 2 weeks at this point, about the Backyard Battalion that was released by Reese. And we have those. Hopefully, Michael, you get those sent off to me pretty quick because, look, John's already, you opened up, John?
Well, there was a little
open one. I got a ripped bag.
Okay, there you go.
I have not taken out the map. I've looked at all the figures and taken some pictures on my dash as I was waiting for Jackson at the church the other day. But they're really cool.
So here's the question. Michael, are you going to mail them to me or are you going to send them with John when he comes to Denver next week?
John's got your box.
There you go.
There. Yeah.
I got your box already. So make sure I don't forget this before I leave.
Yeah, don't forget that because I have confirmation that Reese will be on with us to open and talk about them whenever we're ready to do it. So in a few weeks, hopefully we'll be able to get ready to do that. Reese is on board and he's psyched to come talk about them because it's another one of his babies that he's taken care of and done.
Don't want to miss that. No. Yeah, John, I picked it up, was fixing to take it over to him, and when I did that, I felt one of the figures fall out, and I looked, and it's on the side where the bag where it's sealed. Yeah. It had split enough where the figure fell out, and I told him, I said, be careful with it, so you don't lose anything.
I'm surprised you didn't just put that in the box that you're bringing to me and tell me, it must have ripped in the box.
Well, John said, well, it's gonna be open anyway. Yeah, it's got a little heat
I
sealed
really
on the side,
couldn't.
kind of split.
I wanted to look at them. That was the deal. I was gonna.
I get that. I'm excited to see them and talk about them. So, all right. Well, I need to move this and go over here. You guys ready to talk about some soldiers of the future?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's rewind and get into it.
All right, so Captain Power was an interactive toy line. I know there was some fuss about it after it came out with parents, or I don't know if it was just actually the parents, but it was people who didn't want the toy lines to be advertised by the cartoon. You know, all that whole thing for the 80s that said, yeah, it's you don't need to advertise. You don't need to have a cartoon to advertise to sell your toy lines. Is what the whole thing was. So it still happened. You know, you had Masters of the Universe, you had G.I. Joe, you had Transformers. Well, this went a little extra step further because it wasn't really a cartoon. It had some animation to it, but it was more of a live action show as well, with some computer animated stuff
CGI.
In there. Yeah, some CGI types, some early. I mean, it's early cheesy
CGI
stuff. So,
did you say cheesy? Did you say cheesy, Michael? Is that what you said?
Kind of cheesy, yeah. It wasn't any better than stop motion anyway. Like that's kind of look like. But anyway, it was the early days of CGI. But but what they did with this was, the toy line was actually interactive with the show. So we'll get into that a little bit here as we go along through the notes, through the history. So it's a TV series that was created by Gary Goddard and Tony Christopher, and was a production of Landmark Entertainment. It was a sci-fi action series that had a live action and computer generated animation, like I just said. Let's see. So Gary Goddard happened to be the director of the Motu movie at the time when they were making the Masters of the Universe movie, and he had direct ties with Mattel. So Gary and Tony actually pitched their idea to Mattel to see if they were willing to produce action figures for this show that they had planned. The Captain Power and Soldiers of the Future TV show. Well, Mattel just so happened to have some kind of new technology that they wanted to implement and put into their toy lines, but they didn't have a actual line to put it into to try it out. So Captain Power turned out to be the perfect line to do so, since these guys wanted to do something, have a toy line for their TV show that they wanted to do, and then Mattel wanted this technology put into a toy line to what they wanted to do. So the gimmick that they wanted to do was similar to the zapper for the NES Nintendo, like Duck Hunt and stuff. So it was a laser fire. It was also the laser fire of the Cat's lair from Thundercats had this feature as well, if you remember us talking about that. So what it was it wasn't really laser. It was more light activated type stuff. So when battles occurred on the TV show, since it was they had the sci-fi action stuff going on, they would have flashing lights like the bad guys are shooting at you. It would have just flashing lights come across the screen. Well, that interacted with the toys, but then you could also use, like the zapper gun for the NES, you can fire things back at the TV and you would score points, and your whatever you were using to zap the TV was keeping score. But if you got hit by the blinking lights that came back towards you, if your figure or your vehicle that you were using at the time when it got hit, it would. I know there's a jet. We'll talk about it here in a little bit, but it would eject once you got hit so many times. It would eject your pilot out of the jet. So, but there's several different accessories and figures or actually the figures, but the accessories and the vehicles in this line that actually interacted with the TV show. So, like I said, when the battles occurred on the TV show, there was several series of flashing lights. There was segments throughout the show that was either 30 seconds or up to 3 minutes worth of it.
Wow.
Up by sensors on the select toys from the line, the toys would either receive points by firing back and making hits, or losing points by being hit by the lights off the TV. Once, like I said, once you lose enough points, the toy would have some kind of exploding feature or something. Just a summation of what I just said. So
just to kind of show you, this is the jet, the back of the package. It shows you them playing at the TV, and then it shows the pilot right there getting ejected out of the deal.
Yeah.
So
and the biggest
that's actually pretty cool.
And going back to it is pretty neat how that actually worked. But the biggest issue that these people had about the advertising part was saying, now not only are you trying to sell toys, but you have to actually have the toy to watch the TV show. And you don't really have to. It's just an extra thing that you can do while you're watching the TV show. You don't have to have these toys to watch the TV show. That's what a lot of people and towards once this line got going, it was really, really big. And then all of a sudden, with all this bad publicity about, oh, you have to have the toys to watch the show or anything like that, then it just nosedived and died out. So it didn't last very long. So.
Can you imagine how much fun people would have had if they had like a Scrooge McDuck that dove into a money bin every time he did it on the show or something?
Yeah.
And nobody would complain about that because it's Disney. But this, obviously, they're gonna gripe about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they also complain because the show there was language that was a little bit up there for children. There was more shooting and stuff than any of the others, and they talked about how, like, what was it, every third or every something shot actually connected and hit someone. Now, most of the people that got killed were robots, so I don't know where the problem with that was.
So they weren't stormtroopers shooting. It was actual, like, in the show, people knew how to actually shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talk about the violence part. When you're doing a show, a kid show or something like that, there's a rule where you can't, to keep it PG or rated for kids or something, you can't have people getting killed. So that's why you see like Star Wars or they're talking about the battle droids and stuff. They always killed the battle droids, but nobody else, no people actually got hurt. So, but if it's like a robot or something like that, it's fine. So, but this actually had a little more violence in it than your normal kid show, and it had a little bit extra language in there that you wouldn't hear in your Saturday morning cartoon show. But it was geared. The storyline was geared towards adults, but it was still a kids show. And another issue that they had was the TV stations, when they put it on their channels, they kind of didn't know what time period to put it in, because they would show because you needed the adult audience to keep it going as well, but they would show it like at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning with those cartoons, and nobody was really watching at that time. So I know when it first came out, no, John, you mentioned this a while ago. When it first came out, it was the second highest rating TV show out behind
DuckTales.
DuckTales, yes. So, but it didn't stay up there very long because of the bad publicity they had. So, and Mattel was actually backing this as well. And they said it was like $1 million per episode to produce. and then by the time the toy line started sinking, they just didn't have enough income coming in to support the show anymore too. So it only lasted one season with 22 episodes. But it's there was, like I said, there was already let's see. So I'd already read everything I said on my notes here. So it just didn't. It ended up. It started out really, really great, and then it just died all of a sudden because of the publicity. Because people were saying, all these groups were coming in and trying to file all these lawsuits or something against them about selling the toys, and now you have to have a toy to watch the line, and it was geared more towards adults than it is children. So why are you doing a toy line with this show? And the bad publicity, it just didn't help. So, and Mattel just dropped the line, and actually the sales started going down, and so they had to drop the line, and they couldn't afford to pay for the show anymore. So, and that was it. So it lasted 22 episodes, and that was it. So, so I guess now we'll get into the actual figures and the toy line itself. After we talked about the show and how it interacts with the toy line and everything. So the toy line actually consisted of 10 figures and then 14 vehicles and play sets. Now, this is one of the only lines where there's more play sets and vehicles than there are actual figures.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've come across one yet that had more vehicles and play sets than actual or accessories than figures. This is the first time we had the most.
I don't think we have. Yeah.
Real quick, I did catch somewhere where the figures were $3.95 a piece. Is how much they were back then. Yeah. I don't know how much that would be here. It'd be what, $10 or something like that now.
Andrew.
But Andrew's gonna look that up. But yeah, $3.95.
How much? $3.95.
$3.95. And
then the ones the airplanes, the blasters and stuff, they were $40.
Yeah.
Back then. So it's well over.
Yeah. And this all came out in 1987. When the year when these came out.
Yeah.
I don't think I said what year.
That's $10.18 today for $3.95, and then you said how much? $40, John?
$40 for the vehicles that had all the components.
That'd be about $100 now.
103.
103.
Yeah,
that's pretty close on both of those. Just guessing.
You're actually pretty close. Yeah,
you're getting good at that.
Yeah, I am. Pretty good. So let's go over these figures real quick. So we start with the good guys. The leader of the good guys is Captain Power. He's actually the son of. So if we're talking about the show a little bit, these robots took over the Earth, and this guy, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Power. Well, he's a scientist. Stuart Power. Okay, Stuart Power.
Stuart Power.
Well, him and his buddy. They've come up with this thing to help take over to get rid of the robots. Well, the one guy decides he wants to stick with the robots, so he takes over. He becomes the bad guy of the series, and then Stuart Power comes up with these suits that they can use to battle the robots. And his son actually takes over, and he becomes Captain Power. So he's the leader of the heroic soldiers of the future. They're kind of put together similar to G.I. Joe, the way their articulation and stuff is. And I think they're about the same size, aren't they, John? Did you see? For some reason, I didn't catch what size they are. 4 inches. It says 4 inches. So they're probably 3 3/4. So they're the same size as G.I. Joe. They got the same kind of articulation. They're kind of built. The figures are kind of built the same way. But Captain Power, he's got more of a gold chrome suit with some blue on it. And he comes. It's just him, and he comes with a little. It's called a power blaster for his gun, his weapon, and that's all he comes with. Now he does have there is an accessory that you can put him on, and it shows him powering up. So what it is he's got this little he's got this chest energy shield that lights up when he's activated by, and the accessory is called the Power On Energizer. So when he gets on, it's on it, and it charges his suit up, and the light shines. It shines right through his chest. Is what it does. So that's something a little extra. That's pretty cool with this figure. None of the other figures have this little lighted chest piece, but him. He kind of looks like Iron Man with it because it's right in his chest, big circle, and it lights up when you turn the Energizer on. So, let's see, y'all have anything else for him that y'all know of? So
I don't know. His gold suit, his blue and gold, kind of good colors. I always get attracted back to blue and gold colors for some reason. I have no idea why.
Maybe high school colors. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the next guy. His name is Hawk Masterson. He is the airstrike leader for the soldiers of the future. He comes with a weapon. He's got an ion blaster, and he's got a removable turbojet wing that clips onto his back, and and let's see what else, and a thruster unit. So he's got a flying pack on it that he puts on his back to fly with, because he's the airstrike leader, so he gets to fly around. Now he is kind of a dark blue and chrome. He's got chrome on him. A lot of this is that similar to Silverhawks on their bodies.
Yeah, I was about to say that metallic.
Their torso part is the metallic. Now their legs and their arms, they've got the like he's got blue, but his shielding and stuff on his gloves and his boots are all silver, but they're not the chrome looking color on them. So, but he does have, the torsos do have a metallic finish to them, similar to Silverhawks. So, all right. So next we have is Tank Ellis. He is the ground assault specialist, I guess, because his name is Tank. So put him on the ground. He comes with a proton blaster, and which looks like a big, huge machine gun is what it looks like. But the difference with him, he's got this face shield that comes around his face, and his arms are more square. They don't really go into sockets like your normal arms. So he's kind of built like a tank, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like his shoulders only go up and down.
Yeah, he doesn't go out with it. He just goes your normal up and down on your arms.
I was about to say he looks like a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and he doesn't have the chrome finish on him. He's just got he's just kind of a tan color with a khaki color with the green camo spots is what he's
somewhat
got on.
Camo.
Yeah,
a random blue.
You don't really chrome out a tank.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
you don't bling the tank there. No.
I was going to say, don't pimp my ride.
No.
He's got a random blue star on him.
Well, it's the Soldiers of Future
insignia.
logo insignia. It's
Yeah.
right there in the middle of his chest. So, all right. So the next guy we have is actually it's a girl. It's Pilot Chase, and she is the technical expert, and she comes with a proton spanner. And she has that. She's got the chrome torso, and her arms are like a lighter blue color. And what I say, she comes with a proton spanner. It was kind of like a harpoon shooter or something, I guess. I don't know. But she has this little headpiece that goes around her head, and if you lose that, she just looks like she's got some weird looking hairstyle because the headset actually it's got a groove around her head, and the headset sits inside that groove, so it stays on her head. So, but if you actually lose that piece, then she's got an awful hair day, I guess is what you call it.
So, I'm trying to figure out the blue eyebrows.
She does have blue eyes and blue eyebrows.
And blue eyebrows.
I don't know.
And the eyes and the eyebrows are the same color.
Yeah, that's just kind of weird. All right, so let's go to the next guy is Stingray Johnson. He is the undersea assault specialist. When I was writing down the notes, I said underwater, and I went back and says, no, it says undersea. So I guess he can only be under the sea and not a lake or a river or something like that. I don't know. But he's got a water propulsion system that that clips to his back. It's kind of like Hawk Masterson's with his jet wing thing, but this is more of a water propulsion system than a flying system. He also has a laser spear, so it's like a Triton. It's got three little laser things on there. They kind of look like spears, but I guess they shoot lasers because they are from the 22nd century. So put it that way.
So in this picture, he looks like he's got a green suit on, and then in this picture, he's got a blue suit on.
Yeah, I think it's more of a blue. It's supposed to be more of a blue. I bet the green one you're seeing, I bet it's got it probably got discolored over the years. Sometimes that plastic will. Well, the package, yeah, it may be the lighting too. That lighting doesn't look great on that either. And it looks like the blister. Sometimes back from the 80s, the blisters change colors, get kind of a yellow color too. So that might have given it that green color.
Okay,
I bet. Because it's blue with the yellow colored blister makes it look green. So, but yeah, he's a blue color and he's got chrome torso as well. He looks like he's got a scuba diver helmet on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is Stingray Johnson. And again, going back to the 80s and their names, you kind of know what they are when you say their name. Because this guy is Stingray. You had Tank. You had Hawk. So, yeah, that's all of them. The only one that kind of throws you off is Pilot Chase, because I don't know where they got her nickname Pilot from, since she's a technical expert. So I don't know.
Maybe, did she fly at all? Maybe she's just the person.
Let me see if I can find her information in here. It's taking a long time to load up. There we go. She's raised and trained under the Biodread U. She escaped and was banned as a traitor. So she actually grew up as a bad guy and she escaped. She's cocky and tough, quick and agile, master of all ground and water vehicles. She's a brilliant inventor. I know the weakness and all these are more like human emotions and stuff like that because they're battling robots and stuff like that, so they don't have emotions.
So like Captain Jonathan Power, his weakness is strange human emotion known as caring.
Yeah, he cares.
Makes him most vulnerable when safety of companions is threatened.
Yeah, so that's all good guys there. So, but yeah, it doesn't say. It just says she's a master of all ground and water vehicles. She's a brilliant inventor. So,
that's
anyway,
funny.
Yeah. Okay, we got one more good guy left, and we'll get to the bad guys. You got Scout Baker. He is an intelligence expert. And I guess Scout, since he collects intelligence stuff, he's more of a scout, stuff like that. So I guess that's where he gets his name. Again, back to the 80s naming. So he carries a sonic blaster. and he can impersonate anyone with his power suit hollow field and voice distorter, duplicates voices. So his suit, each of them's got different kind of powers with their suits, and he's got one where he can impersonate different things, kind of like Mirage off of Transformers. It's kind of what he is. So, all right, let's go. And again, he's kind of a grayish. Is it black or dark gray color, and then a chrome torso?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's get to the bad guys. You have the ruler of the Bio-Dread Empire. His name is Lord Dread. Not Judge Dredd, but Lord Dread.
Lord Dread.
Lord Dread. So, and he is that. He's the other scientist that wanted to. He kind of sided with, cooked himself up to the computer that was supposed to annihilate the robots, but he actually started ruling the robots with it. And the computer that they used, built for it, actually had to have a human mind hooked up to make some better decisions and stuff like that. So that's what he did. He just got tired of waiting for somebody to do it, so he just did it himself, and he became part cyborg as well when he did that. So he's still half human, half cyborg. He does have a weapon. It's called a transportable zap blade. So it's like a sword, but it has a zapper gun on it, I guess. I don't know. It's a funny looking weapon he's got there.
Sounds right to me. Sounds like, zap blade. Yeah. All right.
He wears a purple cape, like all bad guys do. They have to wear a cape.
Of course.
I guess he's channeling his inner Darth Vader or something, but it's a light magenta purple almost. It's not a dark color really. So, and actually, if you look at his face, he looks like Leonard Nimoy, kind of sort of got this spot look on the human side of his face, and the other side is like a cyborg type face.
And on that.
Yeah. And his right side is more cyborg. His left side is human. The arm and the leg, which are mechanical, they're just gray colorations. The rest of them is black. But on his torso, again, it's chrome. I don't know why they didn't put chrome on the legs and arms. It's just on the torso part of the bodies of these guys. So, but he's black and chrome, and he's got some red buttons on there, I guess. Again, channeling Darth Vader, I guess, a little bit. But
Spock and Darth Vader mixed together. That's definitely.
There you go.
Yeah.
Without the big helmet.
Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't have a helmet. He doesn't have the
but
helmet
if he had a helmet, you wouldn't be able to see Spock. So that's
you couldn't see the Spock version of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a pointy ear either. So anyway. Okay, so he's the ruler of the Bio-Dread Empire. Okay, so the next bad guy we have is Blaster Ground Guardian or Blastar Ground Guardian. These are all robots, so they're more of a army building type figures. So he executes orders from Lord Dread.
Sorry.
I got Darth Vader again on my mind. He executes orders from Lord Dread. He carries a electron blaster. And then these guys here, if you're watching the show, they are actually bigger in the show than the actual figure is compared to the other figures. I guess Mattel wanted everything to be that 3 3/4 inch, 4-inch line. So in the TV show, these guys are actually a lot larger. So they didn't put everything in scale like some other lines do. But these guys in their bio, it kind of says that if they get damaged or whatever, they're programmed to be able to regenerate the parts that they need to fix themselves. So they don't really get killed off very easily, I guess. But yeah, these are now he's let's see his feet. He really doesn't have feet. He's got tracks, kind of like army tank tracks for his feet.
Yeah.
And I guess he rolls around like that. He doesn't really walk. I don't know why he needs legs if he doesn't walk. But the articulation on him, he has knees and then his hips move. So yeah, it's just kind of weird looking, having, and they're not really feet. So I don't see how he can stand up very well. I don't think he does. I don't think he stands very well. So,
I mean,
but anyway,
props with this picture, but
no, But he's a dark gray looking robot with a triangular shaped head.
He's weird looking, like his. But is it this picture, or
probably
like should his feet be flat more, or maybe it's the angle? I don't know. Like it looks like he's got long feet, but they're up, and he's like rolling around on the small part of it. Does that make sense?
Well, it's more of a triangle, so you don't see the back part of the triangle.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I just was like, so I was trying to figure it out. I was like, this is a weird looking. Yeah.
So that's what in this picture we're showing. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah. All right. So next one we have is Sauron Sky Sentry. He's same, similar to the Ground Guardian, but he flies. He's got. Again, he executes orders from Lord Dread. He provides air surveillance for Volcania, which is the bad guy's lair, and then for the Empire, so the total Empire. Now, he looks more like a robot with a vulture head or a hawk or some eagle head or something. He's got a big bird head, put it that way. He has a digitizer staff, which I think they use that in the movie to digitize people so they make them more robot. So I didn't watch the movie. I didn't watch the show. So
I think it was when they didn't understand, because I watched a little bit of it, but the digitizing things when they shot him and killed him, but I'm not 100% sure what happened after that.
Probably, I don't know. They probably digitized them and put them into the system to keep the system going. So you were turned into energy, I bet, something like that.
So it looked like on Willy Wonka when Charlie stepped into the deal and got digitized and sent across and shrunk. Remember that in the original?
Yeah. Okay, that's
probably what it looked like in the show, but they didn't reappear anywhere that I saw.
Yeah. This guy comes with. He's got a pair of wings. Of course, he's the flying, the Sky Sentry, so he has to fly. And again, he is a Sauron Sky Sentry. So he's not out of the Hobbit or anything like that. So no Sauron that way.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, what does he have a tail?
He has a tail. Yes, that's in the package. You can see his tail along with his staff, his digitization.
His tail's just like there.
Yeah, but like in here, I don't see the other picture I got. I didn't see it. I was like, is that a tail? I mean,
he's
why
got
does
a tail.
hawk bird need a tail? A lizard tail looking like this.
Oh, maybe he's more pterodactyl type looking. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah. So that is Sauron Sky Sentry. Again, these are more what I call they were bad guy building.
Yeah. Army building.
Army building, yes. I went blank. So there's one more bad guy here. His name is Tritor. He's Lord Dread's Ocean Attack Warlord. So this guy here looks like a robotic fish person. That's what he looks like.
He does.
Yeah.
He looks directly like he's out of Scooby-Doo.
He kind of does, but it's a robot version.
Yeah. Like this is Charlie the robot versus one of the swimmer people, or mixed with
the swamp
swimmer.
swamp figure. I
The
can't
swamp
remember
figure.
which episode that was, but yeah, it's a Scooby Doo with the swamp
Yeah.
figure, swamp bad guy, and so that's what it looks like. He's got little fins on his back to help him swim a little bit, I guess. He comes with a digitizer staff as well, and that's all I got for him. So, yeah, and his little wing or fins that go on his back, they can come on and off. So it's like Stingray's propulsion system that he has. So, and that's the figures. And it's not nothing special about these guys. The good guys have that chrome, that metallic vacuum chrome thing going on with their torsos. Everybody but Tank has got that on them. The bad guys don't, except for Lord Dread. He's got a little bit of it. But like I said, it's just Lord Dread, and the other three are all robots. So to get into the actual part that you play with the TVs, the TV series is the accessories and the vehicles. So let's go over the accessories real quick. These are actually probably the cooler part of the whole thing because some of them do interact with the TV show, like we said. So the first one we're going to talk about is this Blast Pack 1200. And all it is a little backpack thing that your figure sits in. It's like a blaster pack. You can pretend you're flying around in it. And it has that the little laser thing, and it shoots at the vehicles, or you can use it to interact with the TV. These things also interact with each other as well. So if you have the plane, the jet plane as well, you can activate it with this backpack. You can shoot it at the plane, and if you get hit, it ejects the bad guy or the guys out of it. Same thing with this. If I don't know if it's got. It doesn't say if it does anything on this one, but it will interact with the jetpack and the bad guy's plane as well. So you got that. All it is a little backpack thing that has little booster rockets on it, and you can stick your figure in there and pretend you're flying around in it and shooting it. It's got a little console that's in front of the figure, so it looks like you actually hold something while you're flying. It's got a little screen on, it's got a little decal on the front. It looks like a little computer screen, stuff like that. So, okay, so the next one we have is the Power Base Fortress. Now, this one's pretty good size fortress here. It comes with 3 different sections actually. Again, it interacts with the other accessories and play sets. It's got your main part, your main fortress type thing. Your figures and stuff can sit in there, and if you shoot at it with some of the other accessories, it blows up. It's got little rock stuff that explodes off the front of it, and it shoots out. You have 2 figures that can sit on the front of it, and when it does that, it pushes the figures out like you're blowing it up. It has a little landing pad for the X-Jet as well, and the other side of it that comes off is like a gunnery type thing.
It looks like a big gun.
Yeah, your figure can stand up there and you can shoot towards the TV, or you can shoot at the other accessories or things like that. So again, these all interact with each other, and that was the main function of this. That's why the figures really didn't do much, but the accessories and the play sets do. But this comes, you could take this apart in different sections and make different things with it. The base of the landing section for the X-Jet, it has wheels on it. Now you can pull those off, and it's got little legs, so it'll actually stand without the wheels. And you can use the wheels, and it's like a little car that your guy can sit in and roll around in. Same thing with the base of the gun. It's got a little tank part on the bottom. You could take it off the gun part, and use it as a little mini tank. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this set other than just play with it like a normal play set. So it's got multi uses, multi things with it to do. So it's a pretty cool set, play set. So
I like how the front of the box it has the guy falling out of it.
Yeah, with the explosions, yeah, and the front of it,
Yeah.
like I said, the front of it, it's got it looks like a big mountain, and when it does blow up, it pushes. You got little figures that are in little cubby holes, like they're shooting out, and they have little guns that they're shooting with, and when the base gets hit so many times, it actually blows those figures out, and the rock comes crumbling down and everything. So. It's pretty cool how the whole thing interacts with each other. So that is the power base. So next we got is the Transfield battle station.
And this one's a bad picture, but
Actually, the Transfield base station. Yeah,
it's base station.
Yeah. So this is just a little thing you sit on. You've got sitting there, and your figures kind of. It's got a little chair. Your figure can sit in. And they're all got guns all the way around it. So this one really doesn't do anything extra. It's just some little extra guns that you set your figures with. It's got a little radar thing, radio station, computer console, some other ray guns and stuff, but. This one doesn't have that interaction feature with it, so and it's pretty cool. It's a blue base and it's got gold. All the guns and stuff are like gold, and you had some silver stuff on it too. So next we're going to talk about is the wind-up Sauron beam deflector. So this guy here is it looks like it's just got a big old ray gun that your figure sits in a chair behind it, and you use it to shoot down. I guess to shoot down your
I was about to say
Sauron, the Sauron bad guy. It winds up. It sweeps back and forth. It kind of rotates back and forth, and kind of shoots deflector pulses. To kind of keep the bad guys away is what it's supposed to do.
So you wind it up and it's and then your other person, like be like me and Andrew sitting there playing, and Andrew's coming at me with Sauron, and this is going back and forth, and you got to dodge it.
Yeah, you have to dodge it. Yeah. So, but that's your Sauron beam deflector. So it shoots at the flying bad guys. All right, so next we have is the interlocker throne. So that is so this is actually a bad guy accessory. So you blast Captain Power TV target. So this right here can blast. You set it on like a table, coffee table, whatever, and shoot it towards the TV. It does have a counter on how many hits you get. So you shoot and score hits on TV targets. The TV fires back, actually blows up the cockpit. So your figure sitting inside the little thing where he's pretending to shoot from. And if you get hit so many times, then that pops the guy out. So that's pretty much it. It's just something that sits on you can sit on your table, your coffee table, and shoot at the TV. That's the biggest thing. And like I said, it keeps track of how many hits you have. It's got a little counter on it. You can also shoot at your other accessories too with it. So, next is the Power On Energizer, and we talked about this a little bit with Captain Power. This is a little thing that you put your Captain Power in, and you light it up, or you turn it on, and it energizes him, and he's got the little chest piece that lights up. It also interacts with the TV show, because when it starts hearing, it catches certain flashes from the TV show, and it during a certain interlog or something, and once it says something, it actually activates this thing here, and it comes on automatically. So it also interacts with the TV show. It says command from TV actually lights up and charges Power On Energizer. So, like I said, when it hears certain things from the TV show, it actually turns itself on. It does have the little laser thing with it too. The one John is showing actually has. Is that the one that comes with the tape on it? Comes with the tape, videotape. There were some videotapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some videotapes that you can actually put into the VHS tapes, and with more action other than the TV show. And there's 3 different grades. You get easy, medium, and hard. So it just makes it more challenging.
Our listeners know what VHS.
I was about to say, do we need to explain what a VHS is for some of our younger listeners?
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what that is. It just a little set accessory thing that charges your Captain Power figure up with. All right, one last accessory before we get to the vehicles. You have your Transfield communication station, and this is just a little station. I don't think this has any interaction features, does it? No, it's just a little. It's just a little accessory where it has a chair that folds out, little seat, and your figure can sit in it. It's a big. It's like a computer screen. It's got all these decals on it. It's got a little radar thing on it. It's more like a communication. That's what it is. The communication station. So that's what it looks like. So it says it in the name. It describes it in the name there.
This looks like it would be something that would communicate with people.
Yeah, there you go.
Like a computer.
Yeah. I guess that's what it is. So the computer from the 22nd century. All right, so that's the accessories. So let's go over the vehicles real quick, and we'll be done with this.
Wait, real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. If this is the 22nd century, that computer is way too big. There's probably more power in my phone right here than there's in that computer.
Probably so. But this is what the 1980s thought about the 22nd century here.
They thought we were going to advance very slowly.
I guess
when it comes to computers, we'll have robots, but the computers will be very slow.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, a lot of things say we've gone so far that it just everything starts going downhill, and then we have to build ourselves back up. So maybe that might be it.
Maybe that happens.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing we're talking about on the vehicles, first vehicle is the ATR mobile proton cannon. So this is it's actually one big vehicle that can be pulled into 2 different vehicles. So, and it has a wind up feature where you wind it up, it actually pulls. It's got this little cockpit up front. Your figure sits in it, and on the back of it, it's like a trailer with a proton cannon on the back of it, and your other figure can sit on it. You wind it, or actually you don't wind it up. It's one of those motors that when you push it, it starts to roll. So if you kind of hit it on the ground a few times, and the wheels start rolling. If you do it enough, it goes really fast, and you just set it. Once you get to moving, it moves by itself. So and it pushes the front part forward. Well, you can detach the two of them, and you have two different vehicles there. So you have one that's kind of like I don't know, a little jet type thing with no wings on it, and then the back part is more like a little buggy with a proton cannon on it. So, but and you can see that in the picture down in the right corner there, where it's two separate vehicles, really. So that's all that is. There's no other interaction with that. It just has that wind up feature where you can push it and it moves. All right, so the next one we have is the Dread Stalker. This one is a remote controlled spider looking thing. So, and it's remote control, not radio controlled. So it has a wire hooked up to it from the remote.
Okay.
So if you remember back in the days, or if you ever think of the days where there was no remote control or radio control or anything like that, it was
I remember
actually
having a couple of trucks like that.
Yeah, it was
You
actually
had to walk
connected.
with them. You couldn't leave them alone.
Yeah, you couldn't just go let it go wherever. You had to actually.
You
walk
can only
with
get like a foot and a half away from them.
Yeah. So this thing's got little 6 legs, and they all work on these gears where it makes it look like it's walking like a spider. It's all gears and mechanical. There's a couple of little guns on there that your figure looks like you can fit 2 figures in there, I believe. One on the front, one on the back, and they both have little guns that your figures can shoot. And I think when it walks, the back cannon actually goes back and forth too. So, but that's it right there. There's nothing major to it. It's just remote controlled. So, let's see. So next we're going to talk about the mobile Skybike launcher. And that is it's a jet looking thing, and it has little bikes, little sky bikes. So they're like hovering motorcycles is what they look like. So you got one figure that would be driving the main vehicle, and then you got 2 other figures that would be on the bikes, the sky bikes. And like I said, they look like motorcycles without wheels. They're just hover bikes is what they look like, or what they are. So they just attach this one main thing, and then once you get in the battle or whatever, they come apart and fly separately. So it's just a cool little vehicle there. It has no interaction with the others there, except your imagination. So.
Yep.
Okay, so the next one we have is the anti-personnel patroller. Yeah, there we are. This one is just a big looking boxy thing that it's actually a bad guy vehicle. And it flies around, it's got a gun on it, and then it also opens up. Just trying to look at the picture. I don't know. I didn't get much information on this, just about just the box it's sitting on. It's Bio Dread. It's Lord Dread's surprise attack vehicle is what it is, but it actually opens up, and I think you can put figures in there too, since it's a personnel patroller, so it actually carries personnel around inside it. So, but the way it opens up, it's kind of funny looking when it opens up like that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of splits down the middle and opens from the back. So, all right, so we're gonna get to the Magnacycle is the next one, and it is just a little motorcycle thing. It also has a wind-up feature similar to the others. where you push it and it winds up, and it's got a cannon on the back that goes back and forth. And trying to see. Yeah, so that's all it does. You just wind it up and it rolls, and your figure sits inside of it, and the cannon on the back kind of rotates back and forth on the top. So no extra features with this one here. It's just a little vehicle for your figure to ride in. Yeah. All right. So okay. So the last two we're going to talk about had a couple different variations of them, or were actually just the way they were packaged was different. So you had the Phantom Striker. These are the next two are the two main ones that you actually interact with the TVs and your other vehicles and stuff. So the Phantom Striker is the bad guys, is Lord Dredd's vehicle, plane, jet fighter, I guess. It's one of those. It's got a handle on it that you hold on to on the back, and you shoot the laser towards the TV, and then it also receives the shots from the TV. So it's one of those that once you get hit so many times, it keeps score how many points you get. But if you get hit so many times, it blows the cockpit and your figure comes flying out. You can it interacts with all the other interactive play sets and stuff that have this feature with them. And you don't have to just use the TV show for it with it, but it's got that. And then it has a gift set, and the gift set comes with a Lord Dredd, and it comes with the Blast Pack 1200 with it as well. So you get two extra pieces. You get a figure and an extra accessory with it. And
so
then
I guess the gift set was not $40 since it has two.
No, it was probably a little bit more than $40.
Yeah, it's probably a little more.
And the $40 ones. I know we said it was $40, but I think the others that don't have this interaction feature with the lasers and stuff,
they might have been a little less.
They were cheaper. Yeah. The $40 one was the one with
the two jets we're talking about now. I think were the main ones that were at $40.
Yeah. So you had the Phantom Striker, which is Lord Dredd's jet, and then you had the Power Jet XT7. This one was Captain Power's jet, and it's basically the same thing. It's shaped a little bit different, but it's basically the same. It's got where you shoot it. You have a handle on it that you hang on to, and you shoot towards TV or any of your other accessories that have this the interactive piece to it, and then it keeps track of how many times you hit something, and then when you get hit so many times, it blows the cockpit, and your Captain Power goes flying out. This one had a gift set as well. It came with Captain Power and the the Blast Pack 1200, and it also came with the other packaging came with a video with it. So again, like I said, those VHS tapes were just extra things that you can extra episode type things. And it has more battle things in it and tests and stuff like that. It wasn't just a show. It was, hey, let's start this. It's actually a gameplay type thing. And it had an easy, a medium, and a hard version. So it had three tapes that you can buy to interact with the TV instead of just watching the TV show, So, but yeah, that's and it's white. The Phantom Striker is black, so you got your good guy, bad guy type thing. So, but yeah, that's it. So,
if you're watching the video and you don't know what a VHS, it's the little thing that's kind of, if you could circle it, there you go with your mouse there. That's a VHS. And always be kind and rewind.
Yes.
Hey, this actually works out. I'm wearing my Blockbuster shirt.
Hey, all right.
I don't know many people that know what Blockbuster is probably now.
Blockbuster is the best thing ever. I'd say bring it back, but that would cause me to have to do things on the website. I don't want to have to do that.
You don't want to do that. No.
No.
All right. So again, it's not a exciting line. It's not a very known line. It just had a cool feature that really.
This is the best gimmick we've talked about, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before, but not to this extent. It was, the Cat Slayer from Thundercats had it. The laser gun from NES has got it. But they took it to another whole level.
Yeah.
With the TV show interactive with it. So
yeah. I don't feel like this is, and maybe it is the same thing, but I don't feel like this is the same thing as the
NES gun.
Yeah, the NES gun. It just because the NES gun is an actual game. You're playing Duck Hunt. You're shooting ducks or dogs, depending on how much you actually shoot.
Same premise that you're shooting the
same
TV.
Premise.
Yeah, same premise.
Yeah. But
the gun was connected to the console also by the wire.
Yeah, and you actually have that interaction, whereas with this, you don't actually have the interaction of whatever you do actually affecting what's going on the screen, because that's all pre-recorded. That's all there.
Yeah,
whereas in Duck Hunt, you shoot the duck, it's going to fall.
Yeah,
like that interaction is actually there. Where this is fun interaction with lasers and lights and stuff like that, and counters and stuff, but it doesn't affect what's happening on the screen.
Yeah, it more interacts with you than you interacting with the TV show.
Yeah.
Right.
But with all the other gimmicks that we've talked about, I think this is like, and maybe it was ahead of its time. Maybe they could do it better now, but it seems pretty cool to me.
Also, it's same as laser tag too. It was the same stuff as laser tag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick before we talk more about it, where do you guys rank this on your list? Let's talk about that.
With what we have now, I would put
and what we have now for Michael, it's Big Jim, ColecoVision, Mighty Ducks, and Ring Raiders. Those are the 4 that we have on this round.
Yeah, for this round, I'm gonna put it at number 4 and push Ring Raiders down.
All right. I would also like to point out that John's list currently matches Michael's perfectly. So John will be putting this 4 since he doesn't know how to actually. No, I'm just kidding. Where do you want to put this, John?
Man, I kind of like these. They seem like a lot of fun. I like having. I mean, the vehicles and stuff were the best part of it, but I really don't know.
Do it, John. Do it. You know you want to.
I'm not going to put it at 1.
That's not where I'm thinking. But you know,
I think I'm going to go 2 on this one.
Yeah, we match. I'm going number 2 because I like the interaction thing. I like the vehicles. I think that's what. And the figures are cool. Like they're just figures. And like you said, Michael, they're the same size as G.I. Joe, right? They're 3 and 3/4. Yeah. So I mean, you can play with these with your G.I. Joe. It's awesome, But then you have the extra interaction stuff with the vehicles and all that stuff, and that tops it over. So I'm going number 2 also. John, we match.
I guess I was as impressed with this. I guess I'm not impressed with the line. I guess I don't know.
And this was right. This would have been right up your alley. You'd have been about 10.
Yeah, I'd be 10, but yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't impress me. Like I guess you guys. I guess.
I mean, here's the thing. Had I actually played with one of these, I would probably be different because I'm assuming that it really didn't work that well.
Right.
So I'm really just going off the premise here because I'm really assuming it didn't work and it's just kind of, whatever. But I don't know. To me, the fact that they're trying something a little different, they are talking about how the
I like the
chrome, bring in Silverhawks and everything, but how you're talking about the cartoons and having the cartoon to push the toys, but this is actually something where you need both, or you can have both. You
can have both. You don't have.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to have both, but you've got both, and they were trying to not only push the toys with the cartoons or push the cartoons with the toys. It's just they interact and it's kind of fun. So
yeah,
I think that's pretty cool. especially in 1987.
Yeah. I guess it's a pretty cool.
You don't get to re-rank, Michael. So we're not trying to
I'm
convince you to
I'm not
re-rank.
changing my mind on that though. It's still low on the list for me. So
I would like to point out if on my list, which I didn't say what my list was for our listeners, mine is Mighty Ducks, ColecoVision, Big Jim, and Ring Raiders, and then I'm pushing this second to push everything but Mighty Ducks down. So that's kind of where we all sit with our. So we've got our 5. Still got 20 something to do with this round, and everything. So lots of fun. You guys believe this is episode 137?
Yep, 137.
Yeah. I have a feeling that we're gonna talk about some McDonald's toys here soon too. So
yeah, we got that coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. But yeah, I like these things. I like how they're, I don't know, really trying to push that technology stuff back in the 80s. And, hopefully they're dead wrong and we don't have some kind of crazy, huge computers again. I like the 12 computers I have sitting on my desk right now, as opposed to, one huge computer. So
this was after the Metal Wars.
Yeah. Metal Wars.
After the Metal Wars.
Yeah.
Not the Rock Metal Wars, but
what? What did I miss? What did
Rock
what,
and Roll Band, heavy metal wars.
Not
music. It's machines.
It's machines, not music. Gotcha. No, sorry, you just missed me on that one because I was like, what is he talking about? All right. Anything you guys want to add?
No, I think if the TV show was a little better, maybe I'd be more impressed. But I don't know.
Right.
It just doesn't.
I didn't watch any of them. So.
It doesn't. I don't know that I don't know. It's just
you don't have to make excuses for them, Bubba.
I know. I'm just trying to explain why I'm not as impressed with this. And it's got some cool stuff to it. I think my favorite piece out of this whole thing is the power base fortress. So I think that was it.
That was cool.
I mean, the figures, like I said, they're just pretty typical, but and some of the vehicles are cooler and some of the accessories are cooler than the others, but
yeah.
Like I said, I liked it. John, anything you want to add?
I'm good.
All right. Well, be sure you check out those social medias and everything. Check out the YouTube videos. That's where we've got, you can see all the content as we talked about the toys. I know we don't always do a great job at describing them, but if you watch the YouTube video, you can see them as we're talking about them. And so check those out. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, send us a emoji of a rock, since John said rock earlier. And thanks for listening to episode 137, where we talked about Captain Power and the soldiers of the future, not fortune, from Mattel 1987. And on behalf of the Brothers Newland at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.